I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't think people understand how good Russell Wilson actually is. Like he got written off in Denver. He got written
Yeah.
off in Denver, bro. And the
No.
media hated him. And you want to know what's crazy? And here's my opinion. The reason why I don't think the media wants to give Russell Wilson his flowers is because the flowers Russell Wilson should get, they gave it to Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers is now 2-6 and not in the playoff conversation. I think that's the reason why people don't want to give Russell his flowers. They're trying to say he's out of his prime, this, that. I'm like, bro, here, two coaches make the difference. Sean Payton says this isn't the guy. Mike Tomlin says this is the guy. Let me tell you the Russell Wilson stats real quick over the last two games. Since they integrated Russell Wilson into the lineup, 542 yards, four touchdowns, 63 points.
I think
My
he ran
question,
one too.
yeah, it's four combined total touchdowns, three through
Yeah.
the air, one thrown in. My question to you is, do you think Russell Wilson and Mike Tomlin can lead the Steelers to a Super Bowl this year?
Mm, this year. That's a
Yeah,
big word. That's a big word.
yeah.
I think the Super Bowl is their ceiling, right? So
Okay.
I'll ask you this: is the
Hmm.
Bills ceiling the Super Bowl?
Yes, because of the expectation between
Right. Okay. Is the Ravens ceiling Super Bowl?
absolutely,
The Chiefs,
absolutely,
right? Okay. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think the Steelers can go toe to toe with any of them right
absolutely.
now. Right now. Like,
Facts.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying Russ is necessarily there. He ain't their Patrick Mahomes or nothing, but it's the combination. It's kind of like the Lions.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I see what you're
They
getting at.
they they got somebody. That's why I said this year is a big word, but I believe they're gonna go at it for a couple of years. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I think Justin showed enough because the Pittsburgh is. I don't think Tomlin. I don't think he's looking for a young quarterback of the future. I think he's looking to wrap up this career of his in the next five.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
But okay, go over the list of people you just mentioned the teams again. You said
it was the
Chiefs, Bills,
Bills,
Ravens, right?
Ravens.
All
Yeah,
ceiling is the Super Bowl. If
right.
I told you right now, if I blindfolded the audience and told you this team is leading their division with the Ravens in it at 6-2, they have a Hall of Fame coach in Mike Tomlin, and they have a Hall of Fame quarterback, a star wide receiver, a top 10 ranked defense, and a star running back. That
Yeah.
would it would because here's how like the Ravens game if they played in the playoffs. That's a division game. Like ask the Bengals the year they were in the playoffs when they had to play the
Hey,
backup of the
no, listen,
Ravens.
listen. I hate to say it. Lamar does have one kryptonite. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's 2-4. He has four
Well,
touchdowns and seven interceptions in that two
wow.
and four stretch.
I didn't even know
That's
that.
not in. And it's the worst part. 20 sacks.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. You said 20?
20 sacks in the 7 games.
Yo, that's crazy. That's
Two in the
crazy.
sixth game. Sixth game. Yeah, 2-4 versus
Yo,
Steelers.
that's crazy.
So, but
That's crazy.
we coming different. You know what I'm saying? I
For
don't know who to
sure.
cheer for in that game. I can't lie to you. Like,
Well, and here's the
you
thing too, though.
know,
It's in January,
I'll
right?
I'll take I'll take Steelers in season. I'll take Lamar in the playoffs.
Just to keep up with your pick. Just keep it.
Just
I did
but they
not.
they division opponents, so man, they gonna have to split. They
Yeah.
gonna have to split or like, man, Lamar might be coming in and like the but man, that Lamar and Henry is
But you
crazy.
said this too before we were looking at the schedule. They do have to play the Ravens. They play the Ravens in 2 weeks, and then they play the Ravens again, the third to last game of the season, you know.
Yep.
So you'll get a good showing out of that.
But the rest of their schedule, it has to be rated number one,
I'm
right?
gonna go ahead and give you my hot take right now. I got the Steelers going to the Super Bowl this year. That's my hot
All
take.
the way.
All the way, man. All the way. I that's my hot take.
I
That's my
hope
hot take.
so.
That's my
I
hot
hope
take.
so.
That's
Steelers, Lions.
because also look at it like this. Russell Wilson and Mike Tomlin both have something to prove. And mind you, again, you're talking about a Hall of Fame head coach. I don't think people understand how good Mike Tomlin is and what he's
Yeah.
had to work with and the success he's had in his career with what he's had to work with. And then also you add in the fact that okay, like you mentioned the teams you mentioned, Bills, you throw the Texans in there, they'll probably be in there, a couple wild card teams. I'm not, I don't think those head coaches have the experience that
Yeah,
Mike Tomlin has or Russell Wilson. People forget Russell Wilson is a Super Bowl quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
yeah,
Like, so the game won't ever be too big. And this is the AFC we're talking about too. So let's add in the fact that it's going to be cold in January. And if the
yep,
Chiefs are, which is our next topic, and get into the Chiefs, but if the road goes through Arrowhead, that means it's going to be cold. It's going to be windy. It's going to be a whole lot of running the ball. And they got a running back. And they got a team that's built for cold weather games.
yeah. I mean, I'm not sure about that O line yet. We have to see them. They're about to come up against some teams that can actually pressure them.
For
You
sure.
know, that's the one thing because when you listed off everything, the receiver, the quarterback, the running back, you didn't say that O line.
Yeah.
And you didn't say that O line for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And that's where,
Facts,
yeah,
facts.
we don't have T.J. Watt, but we got Penei Sewell.
Back to just one thing real quick. Let's not forget Russell Wilson was in the same division that Patrick Mahomes was in last year, and he split with a team not as good as this one.
He did split.
So I don't think he's worried about Russell Wilson, and I feel like the Steelers have that one advantage over all the other teams you listed whose ceiling is the Super Bowl. They're
Yeah,
not afraid of the Chiefs. They have no reason to be afraid of the Chiefs. Mike Tomlin, his defense, he's on par with the best of them. He's on par with the best of them. And
he
with a
is.
quarterback who's experienced, who won't turn the ball over, who can actually move the ball downfield, put up points, like I said, 63 points in the last two games, 542 yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. Patrick Mahomes is not having the best season. 9 interceptions to 8 touchdowns. So if they play later on in the game and the Steelers get two out the air or one out the air, that could be a 7 point swing that decides the game. And the Steelers defense is top 10. So I'm gonna
That's
leave it
yeah,
at that. I'm gonna leave it at
yeah,
that, bro. That's my hot take.
yeah,
I got the Steelers. I wanted to give Russell his flowers because the media dogged him. The media
yeah.
absolutely dogged him. But
Nah, they're in the mix.
in talking about the Chiefs, man, do you think they'll go perfect this year?
I read off their schedule
All right, all right.
because I know it gets light.
It does, but there's a few heavy hitters in there. There's a few
But man,
heavy hitters in
you're
there.
putting hope in a couple.
I am, but I will say this, right? Let's look at their next games. The Buccaneers,
They're down.
Broncos, Bills, Panthers, Raiders, Chargers, Browns, Texans, Steelers. That's a big one on Christmas Day. Broncos.
Ooh, they play the Steelers.
Yeah, yeah. And they
Ooh,
play the Texans the week before that, and the Browns the week
the
before that.
Texans are a year or two away, bro.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Stephon Diggs just went down for the season too.
And even with him out there, it wasn't like they were just obliterating teams. They had
They
a couple
weren't.
close
They
games
weren't.
they shouldn't have had.
I'm trying to tell you. I told you that
You
week
said
three.
it. You said it. You said it.
Like CJ just nice with it. It's like he gonna maintain them, but like if they
He gonna make
don't,
it work for
you
sure.
know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But hey,
Yeah.
when you always gotta make it work, people forget, man. Brady, hey Manny, these guys didn't always have like crazy years. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like I don't think anything is wrong with the Bengals. You're not gonna always beat everybody.
The Bengals have no defense. Their defense is
You know what I'm
atrocious.
saying? Yeah,
That's their
I mean,
only.
Mahomes also won a Super Bowl with no defense. You know, but I'm still saying though, like it's just sometimes you're just not going to because that's what makes because as we can go into this conversation, that's what
Mhm.
makes the Chiefs crazy. Why are you winning games? Mahomes got more interceptions than thrown TDs right now.
Yeah.
Why are you winning games? Travis
Wow.
Kelsey looks out of sorts. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He'll come back in, but I mean, I think he'll be good for the playoffs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But why? You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you
It,
why they're winning games, bro. Their defense is ranked top five. They're giving up 295 yards a game. And here's what I want to point out. I don't really like talking about the Chiefs because last time we talked about the Chiefs, people got on me in the comments, and all I did was state facts. So this time I'm not even going to talk about Patrick Mahomes at all. I'm going to talk about Steve Spagnuolo and Andy Reid, defensive coordinator and head coach. Combined together, they got 8 Super Bowl rings. Throwing the offensive coordinator, Matt Nagy, they got 10. The reason why they're beating these teams is because they're out coaching these guys. That's it.
Yeah.
And not to mention they're
Yeah.
averaging like 120 plus yards a game rushing the ball, which is pretty important. And they got like 10 touchdowns rushing to Patrick Mahomes 8, but
Mhm.
that's why they're winning these games, bro. There's nobody on par with their coaching staff. It's not even possible. Because technically Steve Spagnuolo could be a head coach somewhere, but he's not. So because of that, he has the IQ of a head coach. So he's playing the game just as well as Andy. He's calling his side of the game just as well as Andy Reid is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you throw in the fact that these other teams aren't on par with that. Yeah, and let's look at the teams that did give him trouble. Jim Harbaugh and John Harbaugh. You know, the Bengals game was I'm not going to say it was an anomaly because the Bengals did show up, but that's Joe Burrow. You know what I'm saying?
He does that when he play them. He
Yeah,
just do
like,
that. He
those are
just
the
do that.
games that's been challenges. I think the Falcons game, and people say what they want to say, but it wasn't as close as people made it
Nah,
out to be.
that's the whatever game. Nah, what's interesting left in their schedule is definitely that Steelers. The Bills, I guess you can say, but the Bills are always hit or miss. They might push it, they might not.
Absolutely.
The that Steelers one, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, yeah.
I also think that Browns will be interesting because the Browns definitely have a good defense. I think they're about to go off on a run right now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hope so.
If they're gonna let Jameis sling it, you know, hey, you saw what happens. You know, you give Buddy the green light. Yeah, hey,
For
and it's
sure.
like he hasn't had the green light in a minute. So hey, maybe
Man.
he's made some adjustments. You know, I think he's gotten LASIK, in the past couple of years. But like, hey, he's
Even then, it don't matter with Deshaun Watson. Do you know what I mean?
hey,
Not
we're not. Hey, look, man, that contract's almost up. They're just waiting for the day. They're
yeah.
just
So
waiting for the day.
I say that to
You
say though,
know,
Jameis Winston, he has full right to sling it. The fans just want to see points be scored. No
yeah,
disrespect to Deshaun Watson, but it was pretty stagnant there. A
man,
lot of
and you knew
sacks
that
and
team, bro.
incompetence.
Remember, I picked that division as the best division in the NFL. Now, clearly, so far, the NFC North has been the scary division.
Yeah.
They're out here dominating, the league currently.
Well, they were
But
top three for us, so we came
yeah,
close.
I'm saying, but I had that, I had them, the Ravens and Browns and Steelers. Like I had that division as like, well, that got to be number one, right?
Yeah.
And now that you look at it, it's like, yeah, it's still up there, but with the how Deshaun was playing, unfortunately, what's the fourth team over there? There's
The
another good team.
Bengals.
The Bengals, like, yeah, the Bengals are basically playing every game close or getting blown out, and
Yeah.
they're just losing. Like, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
they still got space for the playoffs too, though. But
But to answer
back
that question though, man, yeah, I
to the
don't
Chiefs, yeah,
I think they can. And I would say the scarier part to me is that it doesn't even seem like they're trying to go undefeated right now. It seems to me like they're really just out coaching these teams. And then you put the
yeah,
ball in,
no, no, no,
a quarterback's hand who can properly manage the game and you get victories.
yeah.
So, but I think the Steelers and the Bills game are
But
what I wanted to highlight.
I only heard two losses with a possible three if the Browns do it. I
Yeah.
think they lose to the Steelers, and I think they lose to the Chargers. I don't think he's beaten John twice.
Well, what's interesting to me and kind of how I look at it is if they make it to December undefeated, I would say the team would actually start trying to go undefeated. Because one, the road's going to be through Arrowhead by that point if they remain undefeated. So,
Maybe the young guys, but not your Mahomes and your Kelseys. They're not.
but are they losing games? Is the
You know,
thing. And if the
they're
answer is no
no,
to
they're not gonna try
that,
to. They're not gonna try to lose any game. But what I mean. They're also not going to like.
overexert themselves, I get you there.
Yeah, they're gonna stick
But
to the game plan.
But let's look at it like this, right? Because sometimes they want to point out too, even with the Chiefs, is looking at their offense and their defense. I already mentioned their rushing yards. They're averaging 225 yards passing a game, but their offense is averaging 24 points a game, and their defense is giving up 17 points a game. So for the most part, they've had a one-score victory in these
Yeah,
games. So if
yeah,
you're telling me I
They had
got
a one score
Mahomes,
victory versus the Raiders.
so if you're telling me I got Mahomes in a one possession game, I don't think he's trying to lose that, and nor does he have to overexert himself to get that victory. That's kind of just what they do as an organization. So to answer that question, I feel like they can. Will they? I don't think so. Can they?
I think,
Yes, but I don't think so.
I think right now, are you gonna take Mahomes or Russell Wilson in a one possession game in the playoffs?
Bro, I already told you. My hot take is Steelers going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And if you're asking that question like a real question, who would I prefer, or if the game came down to it, which one are you saying? You got to phrase it right. Phrase it right.
I did. I did.
Nah,
Like,
phrase it.
because it's probably going to
Two
be one
minute drive.
possession.
2 minute drive down by four.
It's going to be one possession. No, forget four. You need a touchdown. You
Yeah,
know,
down by four, down by
no,
five.
no. You need a touchdown, and you need two to go up one, or you're kicking the tie. You know, like, bro,
Who's got the ball last? That's who I think is winning that game.
who's got the
Yeah,
ball last?
who's got the ball last is winning that
Okay,
game.
how about this? How about this
And
for
you
you?
got to ask
Tie
yourself if
tie
Russell
game.
Wilson is
Tie game.
managing.
Hold on. Tie game. It's 6 minutes left. Russ is about to go down and score. Right. It's 3 minutes left.
Okay,
So
okay,
either you
okay. Who's where?
not. I said the Steelers just score. It's 27-20.
27,
Minutes
20.
left.
3 minutes
You
left.
know
Mahomes
you
got the
can
ball now.
you can try to get the stop, or you can ease up on that pressure. Let them tie it up and give it back to your quarterback with a minute to go. You know,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think in the playoffs, Steelers go up by 7 with 3 minutes left to go in the game. Chiefs have the ball.
yeah,
Mahomes scores for sure. The real question is, does Andy Reid decide to go for two or not?
he won't.
And and if he doesn't, giving the ball back to Russell, under 2 minutes left to go, first down, moon ball, field goal position, knee, kick, Steelers going to the Super Bowl. That's how that game will be played out, for sure. 30-27 Steelers. If that's what you're saying.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But again, if you flipped it, vice versa, it would be the same thing.
So who just has it last for you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
But
With
again, to
with
your point
with
though,
two of the
what I
greatest
wanted to
defenses,
what I
who just
wanted to
has it
bring
last?
up, what I wanted to bring up was Russ managing the game and Mahomes managing the game. I don't think the Steelers playing the Chiefs would be a 30-27 game. I think it would be somewhere in the 17-point range. Like
Problem.
I don't think it would be
Problem.
30. If it's 30-27, then both of those teams have it out for them. You know,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
problem. Because if you're telling me that the Steelers or the Chiefs is giving up 27 points to each other and the Lions are going to the Super Bowl, that's going to be a 50-point victory without breaking a sweat.
Dude, what if we did go to the Super Bowl and just made it boring? Like
Mm,
20, because you saw, bro, you saw, now that we really think about it, we saw a hint of this last year versus San Francisco.
yeah,
Like, just imagine we didn't take our foot off the gas. Just
yeah,
imagine we don't fumble right out the gate,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
game turn around like that. You look up and they're down like 30.
Bro,
You
I'm
know,
telling you, the biggest
in the
weakness.
NFC Championship, the team that, once again had Mahomes down in the fourth.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We had them down like, come on, like,
Yeah, and to answer your question even further, I think the biggest weakness to the Chiefs is if they were to make the Super Bowl is a quarterback that has proven track record of beating them. He only seems to beat quarterbacks that have not beaten him. You
true.
know?
I
Like,
mean, they've kind of evened the tie with Joe Burrow.
yeah,
You know,
but even not to get off point with that though. But yeah, that's my, Steelers. Steelers going to the Super Bowl where the Chiefs remain unbeaten. I
To be
don't think
honest, as
so.
adults, knowing what to get friends and loved ones for birthdays, holidays, and special occasions can be a hassle. Sometimes giving just a card and cash can come across as lazy. Louis cards remove that stigma and takes the hassle of gift giving right off your hands, allowing your gift to be the card. With different options and your ability to customize the card to your liking, you can now give someone a unique card, a premium card, the one and only card that is in and of itself the gift that keeps on giving, a gift that combines cash and a card. Louis Cards, the premier card of gift giving. Get yours today at LewieCards.com.
Now, let's just, wrap this up on some Lions. You know,
Okay.
let's be real. Once again, we're looking at this league currently, right?
Hmm.
Philadelphia is looking a little better. The Commanders are the Commanders. Our division is our division, whatever. Malik, so we didn't talk about Green Bay. Malik Willis stepping in and still winning
Yeah.
that game. Like,
Hmm.
we have them next. I don't know if it's been like confirmed yet on if what's the name's playing or not. You know, like
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on this NFC makeup? Like I really think it's like I heard someone say maybe the Lions are peaking too early, but I disagree. I think this is what you have to remember. This is what dominance looks like. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. The I keep it in the division first. I think this was probably the biggest surprise. One of the biggest surprises for me is to see how each team is currently above 500. Now the Bears is kind of a fraudulent above 500. A lot of the teams they've beaten have either one or two wins on the entire season. So they're not as good as people think they are, but their defense is really like that. As you saw against the Commanders, like their defense is like that. They keep games in position for the offense to win it. And once Caleb steps up, he'll be a lot. That team might actually be scary. If Caleb can reach the point everybody
I'm not
expects him to
convinced
be.
on their defense yet. I know
I,
what they're ranking. I know what they did to the Commanders, but let's not forget that Jaden Daniels came from a rib injury early and played that game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
All
but
I'm saying
even if
is
you
I
don't look
still
at
want to look whenever they play us. If they don't hold us to 24, I don't think they defense like that. If we put 30 on Chicago, their defense is not like that.
well, the Titans actually have a pretty solid defense in the league. They have a pretty solid defense. If I'm not mistaken, I think NFL
I
has them.
couldn't tell.
I think the NFL has them
I
ranked number
couldn't tell,
one.
Manny.
Of course not, but I'm saying
They,
that to
they, they
say
got some names back there.
I say that to say though, like when it comes to Chicago, their defense is, I mean, what they've, yeah. And then moving on from the Bears, man, I think the Packers. It's no surprise to me that the Packers are where they're at. That's Matt LaFleur. I mean, he's doing it with two different quarterbacks. Even when Jordan Love comes back against the Vikings, he still drops 28 points in the second half. And then the
Yeah,
Vikings are probably the biggest surprise because Sam Darnold's there, right? Like, but you add in the fact that Brian Flores, Kevin O'Connell, like
they
Brian
lost
Flores,
again. They
top
lose
three.
again.
The Lions hangover is a real thing. People are calling it that now. Teams lose the next game after playing us.
Man, I
So,
will say though, with the Vikings, Sam Darnold was robbed of his opportunity to make that drive. You know,
with the face mask
yeah,
call,
I would have loved to see if he would have actually got down the field. You know what I'm
hmm
saying, and actually scored because clearly they can front run. Clearly, they can front run. You
yeah,
know, but I don't think anybody can front run better than the Lions. Because we can also come back. So that means that even if we're front running and you start to bring it in close, it's gonna start going tit for tat. Like it won't really be like you took the lead and then you got a kick and it was up 10. Like, nah, like if you got the lead by like 3, we scored. Oh, okay, we're only up 4 now,
hmm
we're
Yeah,
only
no,
up
I mean
four now.
The Vikings are serious, but again, if we're being honest, their defense is why they're where they're at. I mean, their offense has Justin Jefferson, and then when you look outside of that, Aaron Jones in the Vikings?
They got a good running back.
Yeah, it should be Aaron Jones. I'm pretty sure it's Aaron Jones.
It's like
Like, but
it's
it's
not
not.
Aaron Jones. It's like what is it like Addison or something? Addison.
No, it's Aaron Jones for sure. It
They
should
got
be.
they got a good second receiver too, but he did post on IG free three.
Yeah, it should be Aaron. Yeah, Aaron Jones. But even with the even with even with that, I mean Justin Jefferson, yes, Sam Darnold. To your point, it's their defense, man. They got a good defense. And you saw it. I saw it against the Lions too in games before that. It's like you guys are really good at getting teams off of their first down spot to like a 2nd and 8. And they do it almost masterfully. It's actually very, very impressive how they do it. And then, they can, scheme the way they want to after that. And when you're going against coordinators, coaches, or quarterbacks who aren't prepared or vetted properly for that approach, it
Mm-hmm.
throws them off. But you go against Stafford, yeah, he knows a little something about having to get the ball out early. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and it showed going against us. We have way too many weapons to attack you with. That style doesn't work. It worked for a quarter though, but it didn't work for the entire game. So I think the Vikings, they're not, this isn't their year. This isn't their year. And then the other question with the Vikings is Sam Darnold in the playoffs. They're
Nah,
gonna
they're
make the
not. They're not
playoffs
gonna keep
more than
him.
likely. No, not
They're
will
not
they
gonna
keep
keep
him.
him.
Not will they keep him. Do you trust him to lead them through the playoffs? And most people would say no. You know,
Yeah, I'd rather
like
see what JJ McCarthy got.
yeah. And then as far as the other NFC goes, I mean the 49ers, this was kind of expected a little bit with the 49ers. Not so much expected like you could see this coming, but expected in the sense of like you guys were kind of old last year. Like you guys were old last year at these positions. You just got older. You know what I'm saying? Brock Purdy is
Yeah,
good. But the thing about Brock
man.
Purdy, man, is like where does he fall? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
are you a good quarterback when you have all your weapons? Are you just a good quarterback? Are you exceptional at certain things? Like, where does he kind of fall? 49ers fans take it personal if you say he's not that good.
I
But it
think
seems like the
Purdy.
rest of the NFC knows hey,
His
man,
his ceiling is Jared Goff.
I think,
He and the thing is, hold on, no, for real, think about this. His ceiling is Jared Goff, right? And what I mean by that is he may have to go through his downturn, you know,
oh, I see what you mean.
to reel it all in,
I see
you
what you
know,
mean.
because you don't have the grace of some of these great quarterbacks that can have an off year and still be not looked at any sideways way. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like Lamar really, we being honest, if you look at what Lamar's doing
No,
right now,
don't point to Lamar. Point to Joe Burrow. Like he's like 2-6
yeah,
right
bro, Joe
now.
Burrow, but I just want to be honest.
Nobody's
If you look at what Lamar did last year, even though he won the MVP, he had a down year. If you're looking at what he did last year to this year, he had like 24 TDs last year. It was very mild, but they won a lot of games.
I
You
think with
know,
Lamar, the thing is like, hey, bro, just get to the Super Bowl. Like, I get you're a great talent. I just want to see you get to the Super Bowl. Like,
that
same thing with Josh Allen. It's like you're a good quarterback, but just get to the Super Bowl. Like you've proven yourself against all of the other 31 teams. Just beat the team that's your mountain, you know. But yeah, man, to your point though, and then not just the 49ers though, the Eagles, people say the Eagles are back. They went against the Bengals. Bengals defense is atrocious.
atrocious.
I'll
I'm
wait to
not.
see their next game.
The Eagles are nice, but I don't even think they're going to win their division. I guess Dallas is not going to make the playoffs. I don't see how Dallas gets over the Eagles, and they're not going to catch up to the Commanders.
Nah,
They're
this could
not.
be rocky.
Unless they sweep the floor with the Commanders, like win both their games versus them. But
Mm.
I don't see how you pull that off.
Nah, I don't think this is
I
you're
think
kind
they missed the playoffs, man, and
that's a bold
tough.
take. That's a bold take,
That's
but you might
tough.
be accurate.
Man, I wish I would have put money on it. Because
I'll
I
say
was
this
iffy
though,
about them coming in, but now it's just man. When I saw the Lions toying with them, like they were a challenge to us last year.
man, you wouldn't
Like
have
if
thought so after this game.
we were toying with them.
Yeah,
I'm like they're down bad right now.
yeah, yeah.
No running game is not good for you in this league.
Here's
In
what I'll
the
say.
league where the running back all of a sudden became very important, you
Mm.
guys decided not to have one.
I think our best calls for the NFC would have to be the NFC South. I think that was our best prediction all season. Like first two games, we had a pod and we go I'm not gonna say anything I don't want to regret, but one of these teams, if not all of them, will eventually fade. The Falcons, the Bucks, and the Saints. And it just so happened the weeks following that, the Saints fell off. Nobody's talking about them no more. Remember them? 40
Yeah,
points per twice.
man, have they won a game since they
Yeah, I
started
don't
2 and
know.
0? I don't think they
I don't
have.
know. I don't know. Bucks, some injuries. They beat the Lions. Oh my God, this, that. You know the Bucks, the funny thing about the Bucks, they treated our Lions game last year how we treated the Chiefs opening week.
Yeah,
They were like hype after that. Then got blew out the next game. And then the Falcons, they're like exactly what we thought they would be. Like if Kirk Cousins, if he gets the
well,
ball
bro, you gotta
alive,
remember it's a big deal to beat us now.
for sure. But
It is.
they
It is.
treated
You should
that.
be proud. No, you should. No, you should
They're the
really
only team to
be.
do it.
You should really be. You're the only team to do it. All right. We're the most non-fraudulent one-loss team. I don't know how many teams are one-loss right now. I know the Chiefs are undefeated. I know the Vikings lost twice. I told you they were
Yeah.
going to come back to earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it has anybody. The Ravens got 3. Anybody got one loss? Are we the only one-loss team?
Only one.